From the shining domicile that is Pittsburgh Comics, my old mannered comic shop owner, Colin McMahon, transforms into the world's greatest comic book talking TV host. Join us true believers for Comics Now!
Hey everybody, welcome to Comics Now for November 2022. We're through Halloween, we're through kind of the fall, and now we're getting into the nitty-gritty. And for me, as a store, this is the busiest time of year. We're heading, Black Friday is right around the corner, starting to make all those preparations, and then after that, we get a little respite for a couple weeks, and then the craziness of Christmas shows up. So, we're fast into that, so it's always an exciting time of year for me personally. This month, because there's a brand new Fantastic Four book coming from Marvel, we're going to do a spotlight on Fantastic Four, Marvel's first family. So we're going to be doing double points on all Fantastic Four graphic novels this month. And book club has gotten a little weird because in October it hit the last Friday of the month, which it always is, but it was right before Halloween and a lot of people had plans. So we shifted it to the first Friday in November. And then at the end of the month, the last Friday of the month is Black Friday, and that didn't seem to be a good day to do book club. So we shifted that to the first Friday in December. So we haven't figured out what December is yet, so stay tuned, check the website, and you can find out when I do. Because it's Fantastic Four month, we're going to start this month's discussion with Marvel. We have a brand new Fantastic Four #1. This is by Ryan North and Ivan Coelho. Whatever happened to the Fantastic Four? It's the start of a new era for the Fantastic Four, and they're already in a ton of trouble. Something has gone terribly wrong in New York, and the Thing and Alicia are traveling across America to escape it. But when they stop in a small town for the night and wake up in the morning before they arrived, they find themselves caught in a time loop that's been going on since before they were born. In Avengers, we're wrapping up Jason Aaron's run is wrapping up, and he's been doing a bunch of different Avengers books, and they're all tying together in Avengers Assemble Alpha. It's by Jason Aaron and Brian Hitch drawing it. Uniting the Avengers, Avengers Forever, and Avengers of 1 million BC in an epic saga that forms the capstone to Jason Aaron's era on Avengers. From throughout time and the far corners of the multiverse, the mightiest heroes of all the Earths are assembling as never before for a battle beyond all imagining. A war that will take us from the prehistoric beginnings of an Earth under assault by the greatest villains who've ever lived, to the watchtower that stands at the dark heart of the all and the always, where an array of unprecedented evil now rises. The biggest Avengers saga in Marvel history begins now. We also, in the Spider-Man world, we have a new one, Gold Goblin #1. Norman Osborn's sins may have been cleansed, but his memories weren't. And he's done plenty of horrific things to remember. Norman's worked hard to avoid all things goblin and stay on the straight and narrow. Consequences in Amazing Spider-Man pushed him to try superheroing. And he liked it. But when the media dub him the Gold Goblin, he has to start wondering, can he ever get away from the goblin inside? We also have X Judgment Day Omega. The fallout of Judgment Day is felt. After events, we make promises. Nothing will ever be the same again. For the Eternals, it's a lie. It's always the same and always will be. However, in the wake of Judgment Day, they discover what is truly eternal. We have a brand new Deadpool #1. It's been a couple of years since we had a Deadpool. We all know Wade Wilson is one of the top mercenary assassins in the Marvel Universe, even if he is simultaneously the most annoying one. But he's pushing to make that recognition official, as he auditions for the elite group known as the Atelier. Now he has 48 hours to kill one of the world's most famous supervillains. Only problem? He's been kidnapped, and something strange is growing inside of him. We're also getting a New Mutants '98 facsimile edition, which is the first appearance of Deadpool. Tiger Division is out. The Defenders of South Korea take center stage. They've been around for a bit in Agents of Atlas and some other books. We have a new Dr. Fate miniseries. This is by Tradd Moore. Doctor Strange, Fall Sunrise. Doctor Strange awakens alone in a distant world not his own. Lost of purpose and surrounded by danger, the wandering sorcerer must explore this land of blades and mystery to unravel arcane secrets and escape the deadly horrors that lie in wait. We also have a new Demon Wars from Peach Momoko. This one is Shield of Justice. Planet Hulk World Breaker. This is by Greg Pak. 1,000 years from now, on the planet Sakaar, a young woman with green skin searches for the legendary Green Scar to help save her brother from a group of apocalyptic cultists. But which Hulk will she find? And after all these years, is he truly Sakaar's son, who will save us all, or the World Breaker, who will destroy us? Extreme X-Men is back by Chris Claremont and Salvador Larroca. Legendary X-Scribe and artist reunite for an all-new story set just after the groundbreaking original run of Extreme X-Men. A powerful psychic attack on Kitty Pryde from her old enemy Ogun brings the Extreme team back together for a high-stakes mission. But what secret is Ogun hiding, and will even the combined might of Bishop, Sage, Gambit, Rogue, Rachel Summers, Storm, and Wolverine be enough to stop his insidious plan? We have Murder World Avengers. Hundreds are killed every year in an elaborate secret tournament run by a sadistic man with nearly limitless resources at his fingertips. But it's not an urban legend. It's not a myth. Murder World is real. It's online, and the gruesome truth has been hidden from everyone except its victims, until now. Meet Paul Pastor, the extraordinary young documentarian who's going to expose it all with some superpowered help. The Black Widow has a personal grudge to settle with Murder World mastermind Arcade, but can she stop this game before it kills again? We have Sabretooth in the Exiles series. The powers that be condemned Sabretooth to the pit for breaking the rules of Krakoa. But now he's free and ready to show the world that you can't keep Victor Creed down, even as the exiles from Krakoa speed along in hot pursuit. A new chapter in the fan-favorite saga begins here in brutal fashion, but when Dr. Barrington gets her hooks in Creed, he'll be lucky to survive the first issue. Secret Invasion, because there's going to be a movie or a TV show. They're bringing that back. The Skrulls are back. When Maria Hill detects the merest hint of Skrulls, she acts quickly to put her defensive plans into action. And when Nick Fury is sent to investigate a Skrull sighting in Iowa, he finds the last thing he was expecting. We have Spider-Man: The Lost Hunt. This is by J.M. DeMatteis, who wrote the original Kraven's Last Hunt. J.M. DeMatteis reveals secrets and answers, mysteries Spidey fans have been waiting for. Prepare to explore the depths of what made Kraven the Hunter the powerhouse villain he was. As Peter Parker and Mary Jane prepare for their new lives in Portland, a man from Kraven's past stalks them. Who is this mystery man, and what does he want with Spider-Man? We also have a Guardians of the Galaxy one-shot, Cosmic Rewind. Thanos Death Notes one-shot. Thanos is missing, presumed dead, but Thor has seen a vision of his return. And it is enough to make even a god fear. To prepare himself, to prepare the universe, Thor desperately searches for answers in Thanos' past and finds a glimpse of the Marvel Universe's dark future. Blade Vampire Nation has a new one, coming from Mark Russell. A deep dive into Dracula's new kingdom as established in Avengers. Starring Blade, the sheriff of Vampire Nation. An assassination threatens to unravel the fledgling country and spreads chaos throughout the world. But is getting rid of a nation full of bloodsuckers really all that bad of an idea? Blade himself isn't too sure. We also have a Captain America and Winter Soldier special. Iron Man 25 is the end of the current run. It's also issue 650. It's Iron Man Day in New York City, but not everyone is ready to celebrate the ongoing legacy of Tony Stark, least of all him. But a sudden crisis will once again test Tony's heroism and challenge his commitment to the role he assumed for himself. We have a Black Panther Unconquered one-shot that's new reader-friendly in time for the movie. We have Fantastic Four 52 Facsimile Edition, which is the first appearance of Black Panther. Ghost Rider Daddy Ketch Marvel Tales reprints the first 3 issues of the 1990s series. And CrossGen Tales is coming out, reprinting 3 first issues from CrossGen. We also have a new Star Wars Yoda. To some, he was a legend. To others, he was a teacher. Now Yoda is all but forgotten, living in exile and haunted by the past. A strangely familiar voice echoes through the swamps of Dagobah. Yoda must revisit the many lessons he has given over the years, from the days of the High Republic to the chaos of the Clone Wars. First story, a desperate cry for help reaches the Jedi Council on Coruscant, and only Yoda can respond. But how far will he go to protect a community from attack? We also have Star Wars Hidden Empire. The mysterious syndicate Crimson Dawn and its leader Lady Kara have become the galaxy's most wanted criminals as Emperor Palpatine realizes the scope of Kara's plans against him and moves to destroy her. But Kara still has tricks up her sleeve, and with the help of the Knights of Ren and her many other allies, she will not go down without a fight. We also have Star Wars Revelations. After a war of the bounty hunters came Crimson Reign, and now in the midst of Hidden Empire, Kara has shaken the galactic landscape to its core. But what lies beyond for the rebellion, for the Empire? What role do the bounty hunters play? And what is happening to Dr. Aphra? Witness the next step in the legacy of heroes and scoundrels in a galaxy far, far away. And we also have a miniseries, Star Wars High Republic, The Blade. So that's what we have coming from Marvel in November. Now on to DC Comics. Okay, lots going on at DC this month. The big one being a new Mark Silvestri Batman book that supposedly he's been working on for years, and it's all completed and ready to go. We have Batman and the Joker Deadly Duo. The Joker will go to any lengths to get Harley Quinn back after she is abducted by a strange culprit. But who? Mysterious Joker-like monsters are stalking the streets of Gotham collecting severed heads. But why? Jim Gordon is missing, and after receiving a package containing a bloody piece of Gotham's commissioner, Batman knows he must be willing to do anything to save him. But how? When the Joker proposes an uneasy alliance with Batman, the answers to these questions begin to become clear. Oh, they will shake Gotham City and the Bat family to their core. We also have Batman One Bad Day, Mr. Freeze. Going back to the Dark Knight's early days in Gotham City, Batman and Robin, Dick Grayson, face down the coldest winter Gotham City has ever seen. A winter so cold that Mr. Freeze, Victor Freeze, no longer needs his containment suit to survive. He is in an element where he can thrive. Robin empathizes with Mr. Freeze. All Freeze wants to do is save his wife Nora, but Batman warns Robin not to give his empathy to Victor Freeze. He's a man who decided his own fate a long time ago, and he deserves none of our warmth. And this winter, he will show his true wickedness and power. Now, a bunch of stuff is spinning out of Flashpoint Beyond, written by Geoff Johns. First is The New Golden Age. From the Justice Society to the Legion of Superheroes, The New Golden Age will unlock DC's epic and secret-ridden history of heroism, launching a new group of titles set firmly in the DC universe. From the 1940s to the 3040s, heroes take on great evils of their time. But in the aftermath of Flashpoint Beyond, those heroes and villains will have their lives turned upside down. DC's future and its past will never be the same again. But how are Mime and Marionette connected to this? Why are Rip Hunter and the Time Masters the most unlikable heroes in the DC universe? And who or what is nostalgia? Don't miss the start of the strangest mystery to have ever plagued the DC universe. First up is The New Justice Society of America by Geoff Johns and Michael Janin. The JSA returns in this monthly series. The world's first and greatest superheroes return, or do they? A long-lost hero from the JSA crashes into our era with a grave warning, but it's too late. A mysterious and malevolent enemy has invaded the entire history of the JSA, and an all-new team must come together to defeat it. But what deadly secret does this messenger from beyond keep? Where are they from, and why is all of this happening now? Only the Time Masters know. We also have Stargirl, The Lost Children. This is Geoff Johns and Todd Nauck. When Stargirl of the Justice Society and Green Arrow's ally Red Arrow discover a tragic teenage hero from the past has gone missing, they set out to find him, only discover he's not the first teenage hero of the Golden Age to vanish without a trace. But where have they gone? Who are they? And what does the Childminder want with them? Also, Blue Beetle Graduation Day. Jaime Reyes has a lot to juggle, whether it's his finals for senior year or a new villain tearing up El Paso. Jaime is always torn between two worlds. But when his worlds come crashing together at his high school graduation, nothing will ever be the same. A message from the Reach bombards Jaime's Scarab, and it starts throwing off his connection to the device. And if that wasn't enough, Jaime's parents and friends are pressing him about his next steps in life. But what's hidden here on Earth that's drawing the Reach back? And where did this new fadeaway man come from? Can Jaime find balance in his life and rise to become a true hero? Or is it curtains for the Blue Beetle? Also, we're bringing back Wildcats. Lots of Wildcat stuff. This is Matthew Rosenberg and Steven Segovia. Spinning from the pages of Batman comes a census-shattering series. The Halo Corporation has gathered a motley crew of operatives led by Cole Grifter Cash, who are going to make the world a better place no matter who they have to kill. Working in the shadows of the DC universe, this new covert team has been tasked with gathering an elite group of scientists for the first phase of their plan. But the Cat's mysterious leader, Void, might have other plans. We also have Waller versus Wildstorm. In the early 1980s, as the Cold War stubbornly refuses to thaw, a new battle heats up for the soul of the intelligence agency Checkmate, as the agency's superheroic public face, Jackson King, aka the Armored Battalion, former leader of Stormwatch and the symbol of American might, has long suspected that Adeline Kane is up to dirty tricks overseas, engineering horrors that betray everything he believes about service to one's country. But King doesn't know that Kane has a clever new ally, an ambitious young woman named Amanda Waller. She has her own ideas about how metahumans can save their country, and honor, dignity, and long lives don't factor into them. We also have a Wildstorm 30th anniversary special. Now, we have Superman Kal-El Returns special. In this special issue, we'll spotlight Kal-El's reunion with the Dark Knight, Jimmy Olsen, the Justice League, and Lex Luthor. Plus, witness the never-before-revealed look at the moments leading up to Superman's abduction by Pariah in the Dark Crisis event. We also have John Stewart, the Emerald Knight. John Stewart has been trapped in the dark sectors for months now with the rest of his Green Lantern comrades. With the power of the Godstorm at his disposal, John's using everything he can to take down Isak, the mad new god, and bring his fellow corpsmen home. John will need to become something new to win the war against Isak. He'll need to become the Emerald Knight. We also have Dark Crisis on Infinite Earth 6, the penultimate issue. The fate of the multiverse depends on the young heroes of the DCU as they clash with Deathstroke and the Dark Army. Can the resurrected Justice League race home to join the fight, even if it could mean not everyone gets to return? And what dark powerhouse rises on the battlefield? Dark Crisis, the Dark Army. As Pariah's Dark Army continues its march around the globe, Damian Wayne thinks he's got an answer as to why Pariah is able to control the most dangerous cosmic villains of the multiverse. And he's taking Red Canary and Dr. Light on the road to see if he's right. Dark Crisis Warzone is as the Hall of Justice falls, get new perspectives on the various conflicts while the battles across Dark Crisis rage on. Also have Dark Crisis Worlds Without a Justice League Batman. When Pariah and his forces of great darkness laid waste to the most powerful superheroes of all time, all hope was lost, until now. To power his weapons of war, Pariah has captured each member of the Justice League and trapped them on worlds suited to their every dream and desire, while these planets themselves slowly eat away at their respective inhabitants. Batman is stuck in a loop wherein the greatest detective must solve the mystery of his own existence. Then we have Nightwing has an annual, Batgirls has an annual, and Detective Comics all have annuals in November. We also have a Nubia and the Justice League special, where Nubia joins the Justice League in order to for her 50th anniversary. And they're also giving us Wonder Woman 204 Facsimile Edition, which is the first appearance of Nubia. We have Grifter Got Run Over by a Reindeer, their DC Holiday Special. We're getting a Superman 75 Special Edition because it's the 30th anniversary. Also getting Detective Comics 38 Facsimile Edition, which is the first appearance of Robin, and a Brave and the Bold 28 Facsimile Edition, which is the first appearance of the Justice League. Now on to the rest of the publishers. From Image Comics, the return of I Hate Fairyland. Everyone's favorite green-haired, axe-wielding, crazed maniac returns in this Deadpool meets Alice in Wonderland style adventure. Gert is all grown up and living in the real world. Times are tough, and the only job she's qualified for has her trying to find her way back to the place she hates the most, Fairyland. We have two graves. Amelia and the man with the veil of smoke have set out for the ocean in a stolen truck. There's a bloody handprint on his neck. She's beginning to worry it's hers. Death and the maiden on a road trip. Nobody gets out alive. Gospel #1. When opportunity refuses to knock for restless hero Matilda, the devil comes knocking instead. Thrust into action by the hellish arrival, Matilda and storyteller Pitt will quest for answers. Answers that threaten to tear them apart and trigger the toughest question of all. Who am I? Hell to Pay is a new one from Charles Soule and Will Sliney. The Shrouded College will give you magic, but you'll incur a debt. Until it's paid, you belong to them. Married couple Maya and Sebastian Stone took that deal. They have worked for the college ever since, using their new abilities to track down 666 cursed coins. Only a few remain. The stones are almost free, but the devil's in the details. Chroma is another new one. Imprisoned in a tower within the walls of the Pale City, Chroma is believed to be the most evil creature alive. But a chance meeting with the mysterious orphan Zet creates an opportunity for Chroma to escape her cruel fate. That is, if they can survive the strange dangers within the city walls and the monstrous threats that lie beyond. Plush is a new one. Serial-killing cannibalistic furries. Plastic and vinyl creators Wagner and Hilliard are back. Devin Fulcher is coerced into attending his first furry convention. When he accidentally happens on a group of furries devouring a human, the insanity begins. Do they just want Devon for dinner or something much more wicked? Voyages. Number 1, what if one of the Voyager probes was found by aliens on an uninhabitable planet laid to waste by a wandering black hole? Their resources dwindling and under the thumb of a relentless tyrant, alien hero Sen's discovery of the probe leads to adventure and possible salvation for her and her people. The Knight and the Lady of Play. This is a new one from Jonathan Luna. After a war with demons, Knight Sigourney Vincenzo is traveling home to his wife in Italy. In a swamp, he comes across a mysteriously hypnotic woman who tempts him to stay with her. Another one, Soldier Stories, featuring 4 compelling tales of military conflict, all written by veterans who survived. These first-person accounts of real-life warfare have been reimagined across a variety of genres, from sci-fi to personal memoir, all written by veterans who survived from Vietnam to Afghanistan. Now from Boom Studios, we have a couple new ones. Behold Behemoth, number 1. Grayson's world is crumbling following his brother's sudden and mysterious death. His sleepless nights are haunted by vivid nightmares of a terrifying monster, pushing him to the brink of losing both his sanity and his job as a social worker. But he's truly shaken to the core when his newest case, a young orphan girl named Wren, is found at the scene of a brutal murder, just hours after first meeting Grayson. The line between nightmare and waking life blurs as Grayson soon discovers that the monster from his dreams might just be real, a mythical ancient beast that is bringing about the end of the world with shocking connections to both him and Wren. Jason Aaron brings us a creator-owned series, Once Upon a Time at the End of the World. In this post-apocalyptic tale, Maceo and Mezzi have never met anyone like each other, and they'll need all the help they can get to survive a planet ravaged by environmental catastrophe. Specs. What happens when a couple of misfit teens mail order a pair of X-ray glasses and realize they've received much more than they had bargained for? Dark Horse has a new one from Brian Michael Bendis, The Ones. Every single person in every mythology that was told they were the one are brought together for the first time to defeat the one, the actual one, the real actual one. We have Quick Stops number 1. This is from Kevin Smith. Chronic Con guest of honor Holden McNeil tells Alyssa Jones and a packed podcast audience his story of going green with the legendary loiterers Jay and Silent Bob in the Quick Stop cooler, and how it directly led to the birth of his Blunt Man and Chronic comics. There's a new Resident Alien miniseries, new Star Wars High Republic Adventures kids series. Skull and Bones Savage Storm. A merchant vessel on the high seas is besieged by a vicious crew of pirates, and the fighting is interrupted by a devastating typhoon. When the storm crashes in, it leaves predator and prey stranded on an island somewhere in the Indian Ocean. There's a new Kosechi the Deathless in Hell. That's from the Mike Mignola verse. Now on to Aftershock. Fear of a Red Planet. Mars, 50 years from now. Humanity's first Martian colony is no longer self-sustaining. Under the thumb of its corporate mining overlords, the surviving colonists slave away just to pay for resupply rockets from Earth with little or no hope of returning home. One woman has kept a fragile peace, the UN's first and only interplanetary marshal. A lawwoman escaping a violent past on Earth, she prides herself on never having fired a shot on Mars. But when she's tasked with solving the murder of the colony's most hated man, her investigation threatens to tear the Red Planet apart. Also, A Foulness in the Walls. This is a new horror book from Cullen Bunn. After a tragic loss, George hopes to rebuild his life. He moves to a new house. He gets a new job. He starts dating the girl of his dreams. Sometimes, though, guilt can be as malevolent as an evil spirit. Sometimes ghosts follow you. Something is rotting in the walls of George's new house. Something hungry. The Last Ride of Pillar and Pride, number 1. When Ben Pillar and Eli Pride were kids, they did something incredible. They saved a young girl's life and stopped a madman. They were heroes, but that was a long time ago. Now with their career as young adult adventure novelists in decline, and their friendship in similar dire straits, the pair embark on a road trip back to their old hometown in hopes of mending their relationship. But a new evil has emerged on the town of Targan Falls. Can Pillar and Pride be heroes again? Titan has a new Kamen Rider 01, spinning out of the Kamen Rider TV show. Ablaze has another new one. It's Mark Russell month, called Traveling to Mars by Mark Russell. It tells the story of former pet store manager Roy Livingston, the first human to ever set foot on Mars. Roy was chosen for this unlikely mission for one simple reason. He is terminally ill and therefore has no expectation of returning. Roy is joined on his mission to Mars by Leopold and Albert, 2 Mars rovers equipped with artificial intelligence who look upon the dying pet store manager as a sort of god. Against the backdrop of not only his waning days, but those of human civilization as well, Roy has ample time to think about where things went wrong for both of them and what it means to be a dying god. Frank Miller is back. He has his own imprint, and he's doing some new stuff and returning to some old stuff. We're getting Ronin Book 2, written by Frank Miller, drawn by Philip Tan. This miniseries follows the original story and takes Casey and her newborn son across a ravaged landscape. And then we have a new one. Dan DiDio is heading up this company, and he's a new one called Ancient Enemies. Earth becomes a final battlefield in a centuries-old war between two alien races. But this final conflict becomes the unintentional breeding ground for a new generation of superpowers, each with the ability to influence the outcome of the war. Some superpowers choose sides where others struggle to maintain their independence with the hope of saving the Earth. Ahoy, another Mark Russell book, Billionaire Island, Cult of Dogs returns. The year is 2046, and 2 years after Billionaire Island fell, taking the world's economy with it, only one man or dog can save us now. But where is Business Dog? And then we also have My Bad, Volume 2, also by Mark Russell. Someone is killing capes, or would be if they were better at it. Will this crisis draw out the crime-fighting chandelier out of retirement? Archie has a new one called Bob Phantom. After failing to aid a dying criminal in order to get a more gripping news story, burgeoning journalist Walter Whitney not only gains national acclaim, but the attention of a ruthless global crime syndicate. Now you must go from mild-mannered reporter by day to Bob Phantom, a heartless ambulance chaser and even more hardened crime fighter by night. AWA is updating The Great Gatsby for the new age. IDW has a new Star Trek book, Resurgence. We also have Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, The Last Ronin, The Lost Years, so it's going to fill in a little bit of the gap before The Last Ronin. SourcePoint Press has a new one from my friend Christina Blanche, Mysterium and the Spectral Servant. Conrad McDowell keeps encountering supernatural occurrences after moving into his new family home, Warnick Manor. He invites his friends, world-renowned mystics, to see if they can help this soul pass on to the other side. She's also doing Good Boy Volume 3. Valiant is bringing back X-O Manowar with X-O Manowar Unconquered. And lastly, we have Vault with Door to Door, Night by Night, another Cullen Bunn book. The Heritage Mills sales team travels from town to town knocking on doors. They're the best at what they do, which also means they are the worst. They're broken, each and every one of them, haunted by closets full of skeletons. They're bursting. When they discover a terrible secret behind one fateful door, it opens their eyes to a world of real monsters hidden in every small town. So that's all the new stuff coming out in November, including all the regular books. Spider-Man's rolling along, so are X-Men and Batman. So lots of great stuff coming out in November. Luckily, it's a 5 Wednesday month, so we get a little bit of extra stuff. Keep an eye out for what's going on Black Friday. We'll announce that later in the month. We also have Local Comic Shop Day, which is the Wednesday before Thanksgiving, where we'll have a bunch of special covers and some new books just for that special occasion, special gift type stuff. So, as always, the website's PittsburghComics.com. Facebook is Pittsburgh Comics. Twitter and Instagram are PGH Comics. Because there's so much going on this November, we're not going to have time for Comics Previews Theater this month, but stick around. Hopefully we'll get it in next month. Thanks for watching.